More Than Real Estate podcast is all about bringing life and energy to real estate without always talking about real estate. Look forward to interviews with influential members and industry partners. These stories will focus on their personal growth and incorporate lighthearted, inspiring, and sometimes funny segments, highlighting the fact that there's more to realtor life than being a realtor. I'm your host, Chantal Goddard. On today's episode of More Than Real Estate, we are joined by the Singer Realtor herself, Alexia Daley. Alexia is an outgoing and bubbly broker with Century 21 BJ Roth Brokerage. When she's not out and about helping her clients navigate through real estate transactions, she enjoys cooking, playing piano, getting outdoors, and being a mom. She also has her own podcast called It's Worth a Conversation. Let's get into it.
I said, when you sign, I will sing. If you want to buy or sell a property, I'm the only realtor that you'll ever need.
Thank you so much, everyone, for listening today. I am joined by the singing realtor herself, Alexia Daley. I was going to try and sing an intro on this, but I figure I'll leave it to professionals.
Everybody always says that to me. Oh, do I have to sing when I call you? Everybody says that.
I love it. I love your voicemail. I love everything that you have with it. It's fun. The videos that you do.
I had an agent who did a showing for me the other day, and she says to me, do I have to sing to your clients? I'm like, no. She's like, oh, because I don't do that.
That's hilarious. That's fun. Yeah. You're also, the other thing that's kind of cool and that I love is that you have a podcast as well. I was listening to it. And I love that you say it's worth a conversation. It's better than just having the surface, just small talk. I hate small talk too. So
yes, I do. I'm bad at it.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. There's only so many times that you can have the same conversations over and over again, right? And that's the one thing I find with this profession, that you're sitting there trying to build a connection with people, but it's nice whenever you can actually get to know people. So I know. So we're happy that you're here and joining us, and let's get to know you a little bit better.
Certainly.
So let's start. What got you, we'll start from the real estate standpoint. What got you into real estate? What attracted you to the business?
Well, I think like many people back in the day, I started watching some of those shows online, HGTV. And there was two that I particularly liked was House Hunters. And Buy Me particularly, because it was much more of a natural, not as much finish to the show. And I thought, you know what? I think all of us have an interest in real estate on a primal basis in terms of everybody wants to own a house, right? So I just thought, you know what? This is something I'd want to do. I wanted to change my profession that I was in. I knew that wasn't something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So I was trying to figure out what could I do for the rest of my life? So I came up with three things: go back to school, become a lawyer, go back to school, become a teacher, or go back to school and become an agent. And I decided the agent was quicker to get that done out the way. And it looked like it was a lot more fun. And I could probably be myself.
That's awesome.
Because I felt, you know what I mean? I think one of the things real estate does, which is why I came up with the moniker, obviously, Singer Realtor, that I could be myself. And to me, that was super important, that I could just be myself, do my job. And everybody at the end of the day, they can love you or they don't love you, but at the end of the day, you're who you are. So that's awesome. How I kind of started it. And now I don't watch any of those shows at all.
You realize
because it's I was like, oh my goodness, I can't watch it. So now I don't watch any of those shows at all.
That's too funny. What did you do? How long have you been in real estate for then?
I believe I've been in real estate at least a decade now. I used to be in management, those sorts of corporate type jobs. I worked with Air Canada, I worked with TELUS. So I was always in sort of like management roles. So that's what I did. So I always loved people, people, working with people, managing people. I felt I had really strong skills that way. And I always seemed to have, I guess you can call it the likability factor. So I felt that would roll over nicely into real estate. People are always wanting to talk to me, confide in me, and just have a lot of fun with me. So I like that. And I felt that was just the right direction in which to go.
That's amazing. I love it. You definitely are. From the few times that we've interacted, I know you're super approachable. You've always got a big smile on your face. So it's nice. And I'm sure people absolutely appreciate that. And they're looking for somebody that they can trust. So okay, the whole singing side of it, is it a passion of yours? Is it something that you enjoy doing? Or how did you get involved in the musical side of things?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've always enjoyed music. I've always enjoyed singing. Grew up in the church. So when you grew up in the church, you don't really have a choice. In those days, things are different now, but everybody had to sing in the choir. Like that was a thing. Everybody sang in the choir. You're alto, soprano. That's where you're going. So I just kind of always had a natural affinity for singing. And then of course, being in choirs, that sort of thing. I sang in a few little bands throughout my 20s, but mostly gospel type music. Sang at Blue Jay games, sang at with the choir.
That is so cool.
Sang at, I think it was, I can't remember the production, some Vietnam production. We had to sing Dear Canada or something like that. So just lots of fun little things that I've done, but it started with just music. I mean, I'm Jamaican, and I think the stereotypes. Jamaicans love music, and it's a very true stereotype. We love our music. You hear it everywhere you go. So you grew up in a home where you're always hearing music. Somebody's playing music, somebody's singing. My siblings are great. I have a sister who's actually a really phenomenal singer, and she does a lot of stage plays and TV and stuff, that sort of thing too. So it's in the blood. Never been a professional, but absolutely have performed, in school. People invite me to events, weddings, at church. So that's how it started. And when branding started coming out, finding a way to brand you, I wanted something that would be fun and would reflect me. I knew I wasn't going to be the sexy realtor, the hot realtor. That wasn't me. That was not going to be my moniker. So I thought I will be the singing realtor because that's what I love to do.
That's amazing.
And it's easy, right? It's easy. It's not much of a stretch. And I get messages from people. So you're the singing realtor all the time. So I think it does work, and it just keeps things nice and light. But yeah, I do sing to clients, not all the time. It depends on their personality. Sometimes it can get a bit much.
I feel like it would totally take the stress out of the process too, and would just make it so much more fun.
Oh, they can't wait. Oh, am I going to get my song now? When you're going to sing? I said, when you sign, I will sing. So there you go.
Can we do a fake agreement right now? I want to hear this.
What's that?
Can we do a fake agreement right now? Maybe we'll say.
Yeah. Well, I think my theme song that I enjoy singing. I usually sing that, or they'll have a request or something, and that's what they'll do. But you've seen my live. If you want to buy or sell a property, I'm the only realtor that you'll ever need. If you need more space, more yard upgrade, call me now. Don't you delay. If you want to buy or sell a property. But that's just a fun jingle, right?
That's awesome. It's so much fun. I love it.
Yeah. But sometimes they have requests and I'll sing that.
That's cool. So did you grow up in Canada then, or did you grow up in Jamaica?
Yeah. So I immigrated here very young. I was about 6 or 7 years old. I immigrated to Canada. So yeah, majority of my life was in Canada, lived in the city, but grew up most of my time in Malton, Mississauga.
Yep.
And then moved up here. I've been up here for 20 years. Been up here since we got married, probably a couple years after we got married. We bought a house in Innisfil. That's how we started. Yeah. And then we moved around though. I didn't always live this side. We're in Sugarbush, we were in Angus, Thornton, Alcona. So we moved around a bit, like everybody does, trying to make some money.
It's a great way to do it. And if you're in the profession,
for sure,
that much easier. So fun fact, we're actually neighbors. We're at opposite ends of the road. So that's kind of cool.
Yes.
But I love being out in the country, minus our little internet issue that we were chatting about earlier. But yeah.
Yes. I love it too.
Yeah. What was it that drew you out to the Thornton area?
Well, I was already in ESSA. And we wanted to live more in the country because we were living in Angus just prior. And before Angus, we were in Sugarbush, Horseshoe Valley area. So we really enjoyed that. Wanted to get back to that, but didn't want to go as deep because that road was a killer, Horseshoe Valley Road. And I found when you have a young one and you're trying to get to work and you're trying to get kids from the bus stop, it really can drive your stress level up. So we still want to go back in the country. My husband's a country bumpkin kind of a guy, so he loves the privacy that the country provides. And the space and the quietness, right? I mean, the neighbors are, I look out, there's sheep, there's cattle. I get my eggs from Malcolm at the corner. He drops off honey for us. So it's a wonderful, wonderful quiet life, and we love it.
Yeah, it's great. So it's your husband and then your son, right?
Yeah, I've got 2 boys.
Awesome. How do you
I've got 2 boys.
Tell us a little bit about family life and how that is.
Yeah. Well, now it's a lot easier because they're a lot bigger, but definitely when I started real estate, it was always on your mind trying to find ways not to abandon your family, because it's very easy to in this business. You're just running. You don't want to lose a deal. So you kind of do what it takes. But I was always very cognizant of that fact. So I knew what I wanted to achieve in real estate, and I knew what I could do reasonably well and not feel like I was abandoning my family. But my boys played a lot of soccer. Now with the shutdown, there isn't any soccer. Well, they do online training, that sort of thing, which my youngest does not like it. But so they were, yeah. What's that?
Do they are they rep players for soccer?
Yes. Well, they were academy players. My oldest one my youngest one had stopped now. I think he stopped in the summer with COVID, because now he's kind of feeling like it's not going to go anywhere, because, he couldn't get a visa to travel to Europe and all these sorts of things that he needed to do for trials. So I think he's a little bit down about that right now, trying to figure out what he wants to do. And COVID has really put a damper on many of these opportunities that these kids have in terms of their sports. Yeah. My younger one, he's 13, actually just had a birthday last week. So now he's 14. So he is training now with this, the first time we've had a local team. He's training with UFC Force 11 or something. I don't even know what it's called. My husband deals with it. It's in Alliston, but we traveled since they were maybe 6 years old to the city every day for training. We would go to Markham, King City. That's where they train. So it was very, very hectic. We wouldn't get home till after 11 at night. So definitely in terms of family life, we were on the road a lot. And then of course, but I think having a very good supportive husband definitely helped. And he was totally into the sport thing with the boys, right? So it was really more his burden. Yeah. I just tagged along, I just made sure the uniforms are clean and the snacks are packed. Do you know what I mean? But I found it was more, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what family life was. Just lots of soccer, and definitely schooling, and after school sports as my other son got older, and they can, started playing after school sporting like basketball and track and field. So they're very busy that way. So, but family life was busy for sure. Okay. It's easier now though, as they're older.
Yeah. How do you balance, or how did you balance? Like, I know you mentioned that your husband, that you had support from the family and all that sort of stuff. What else would you do, or what were sort of some of the things that you would do to make sure that you weren't dismissing or forgetting about family, or that you were keeping everybody happy and doing all that? Because I know mom of 3, I've got the same challenges.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
100%. I think it just became okay for me to lose a deal ever so often. I wasn't going to miss my son's championship because I had to go run after an online anonymous lead. I wasn't going to do that, and I had to be okay with that, right? So I think if you find other agents, if you don't have a team or anything like that, find other agents who can help you, who can back you up. That certainly helped. Have some really good friends that when I'm stuck, for showing, or if I went on vacation and, get an offer in my listings or whatever it is, then you can fall back on them. So I do think a community of support of people in the business can certainly help you. And I believe that's why a lot of people are going the team direction, just so that you can get that balance. Because we can talk about balance. This is my personal opinion, as much as we want to.
Absolutely.
Right. But I think it's really hard to get that balance, because something gives. Either you lose business or you start losing your family. I think it's very difficult to keep it like this all the time. So you have to decide what's more important right now. Is it the kids or the job?
That's very true.
Right. And then and it can change, monthly or weekly, next month. Okay, it's going to be super busy month, like springtime. Okay, guys, you're not going to see me for a bit.
Yeah.
this is what's going to happen. But then at some point you gotta come back. So it just really depends on what's important to you. But that was super important to me. My mother was a career mother, so she was absent a lot. So I knew for me, I didn't really want that. I wanted to be as present physically as possible. I don't really buy into the, it's quality time. Okay, 3 hours a week, and you're doing all these great things.
Right there, regimented. Right?
Yeah, I don't think that's right either. I think quantity is just because you can just be home doing nothing, but your presence is around, right? And that comfort. So I'm home and the kids, I don't know if you do it too, but I'm home and the kids come home. I'm home in the morning before they leave. So it's no different to them. And balance for me includes a lot of that. And I try to make sure I make a good dinner as often as I can, these sort of things, so we can sit down and eat and enjoy each other's company. But it's not perfect, and no family is perfect. So you just have to figure out what works for you.
Yeah, no, I think that there's so many things that you've just said there where it's even like as a realtor starting out where you're chasing every lead and you know that you need to keep the business going and you're trying so hard to get everything done. Yeah. I'm thinking back, I had young kids whenever that all started, and it was one of those, okay, I need to go and do this, but I want to make sure that I'm there for bedtime, that I can put them to bed, that I can read stories, that we can do that and have our good quality time together. But I agree with you that it does get easier. Mine aren't quite as old, I guess, as yours are, but it does definitely get easier as they get older. But yeah.
Oh, for sure. Because now you can leave them, I can leave them home alone now. Like before I'm dragging them off with me in the minivan, right? And then you're doing a showing and you come out and they're hanging out the minivan. And you're trying to be professional.
I'll never forget. Right, I was showing a property. I had the younger two with me. They had their iPads. They were fully charged. And I said, okay, I'm going inside for 15 minutes. Just sit in the car. I lock the doors. Sure enough, the one comes running in. He's knocking at the door going, I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah. The joys of
the things that we have to do. Yeah. I'm glad that I'm past. I mean, I missed them at that stage, but I'm so glad that I'm past it, because that part was very difficult. What are you going to do with them? Yeah. Right. You got to go. So you just got to take them with you. Yep. That's the best thing. I used to involve them in my open houses, and I would dress them up in these little suits, and they'd have like the what do you call the board with the listings on, and people come in and they'll just hand it out just so I could have them. Like, I don't have a babysitter that day. They're coming. And people love that though. They're like, oh my goodness, that's so cute. Right. So you use them in your business when you can.
Yeah. Do you ever feel that there's a double standard with, if women were to say, oh, I've got the kids or whatever's going on, do you feel like there's a double standard with if men were to say that versus women, where men sort of get the pass and they get that, oh, you are such an amazing father. I can't believe that you're doing this and spending all this time. Whereas on the women's side, it's like, well, lady, I'm going to go find another agent. Did you ever get that type of reaction? Or?
I wouldn't say I'm sure I have, but I know what you're saying. I think the expectation is that moms just do what it takes, I think. And then when dads step in, it's like they're doing you a favor. It's like when they're babysitting their own kids. There really is no such thing, right? Yeah, we're all doing what we're supposed to be doing. It's the expectation, but you're right. They get a little bit more round of applause.
Yeah.
Can we give them a trophy, please?
We're not hating on the guys at all.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm pro men.
Yeah, some of the things that you run into with the business too. But so you did mention that you like to do your home cooked dinners and all that with the family. What are some of your favorite dishes that you cook?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Jamaican, so obviously we make a lot of Jamaican food. Majority is Jamaican food. If I try to make something Canadian, they'll think it doesn't have enough flavor or it's not filling. We cook, large portions. So I don't want to gross you out with some of the things that Jamaicans eat, but definitely, the jerk chicken, the jerk pork. I like to make these fried dumpling. Yeah. Oh, you know it. Oh, okay.
Oh, good. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm impressed, right? Fried dumplings. I like to fry plantains, but I do enjoy making Mexican food because I
Oh,
like
that's
making
awesome.
their rice. Yeah, I do. It's one of my favorite meals. We do have a Mexican meal at least once a week. So I'll make the Mexican rice and I'll make, whether it be enchiladas or tacos or whatever it is, and I'll make one of their special Mexican drinks. And so I do enjoy making, and it's fast, right? Like
Yeah.
you look fabulous with the Mexican spread. Oh, look at all the stuff I did. And it took like 30 minutes.
That's
So they
awesome.
think that you're amazing cook. Yeah. But that is probably my pride and joy is the meals that I prepare for my family. But a lot of it definitely is Jamaican. My husband says I like to make roast beef. I do. I love roasting vegetables. I love making roasted potatoes and roasted root vegetables. That's one of my
Yeah.
favorite things. I watch cooking videos. My younger son, I think your son's a chef, isn't he? Your younger son?
He ended up on the Food Network on Junior
That's
Chef Showdown. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Is it on TV yet? Because I've been waiting for you
Yeah,
to post about that.
it was back
Oh, I
in,
never.
what was it, April? I think they aired the season.
Oh, okay. I don't
I'll send
actually
you the link.
have. Yeah, I only can watch it like online because I don't actually have like
Yeah.
cable subscription.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my younger son he likes to cook as well. So he can be a little bit annoying because then I've been cooking for almost 50 years. He looks up something on YouTube, and of course he thinks he can cook it better. Oh, you're supposed to do it like this, Mom. Get out of my kitchen, buddy.
Do you guys
cooking for 2 minutes?
have you passed along a lot of the recipes? Like, are they family traditional recipes that have been passed down?
Yeah, nothing. Well, I actually do have a cookbook that I've written some recipes
Really?
out. But I do actually have one, and if something turns out really well, I'll write it down so that I remember how I did it. Because sometimes you try something, it doesn't turn out until you do it 3 times. And but he watches me in the kitchen, and yeah, he's the one. They're great at, especially when they're younger, when I don't like prepping, like cutting up all the onions, the tomato. I don't like that part of it. So if I get them to do that, they do that really, really well. But in terms of, I won't say he and I cook together because he likes to do things his way. And I guess I like to do things my way. So if he needs my help, I'm there. Like, I'm like, oh, you've got the oven on too high, the stove's on, little things they don't know that they can't find on YouTube, right? So I'll step in that way. But he thinks he knows it all, right? He's a little chef in the kitchen.
That's fun. It's it's nice to be able to spend time, like even if he's doing prep work or whatever, and you're in the kitchen, it's still nice time to spend together. So
it is. It's a really, really nice time.
That's fun. During sort of the whole COVID shutdown, I know you mentioned that, and this was actually, I was having this conversation with someone the other day about the kids that are sort of at that age that they would be moving on to university or getting their scholarships or going through with sports and what's happening with them. What are you, just because you had touched on it, that your son was having some challenges with that and some difficulties?
Yeah.
What's some of the stuff or the words of encouragement that you're giving them, or what are you doing either for yourself to stay motivated, or what are you passing along to them to try and keep their spirits up?
Yeah. My younger one, because he's still in elementary school, so I haven't noted, I don't think he has to worry about that for a bit, but it definitely choosing the high schools, he missed out on going for those tours. So we watched it online and he's like, oh my goodness, this is like 30 minutes he doesn't want to sit there and listen to teachers and guidance counselors talk. So I'm the one watching it, and then I'm telling, he doesn't want to see any of that, right? So for him, I think it's been okay. I think for my son who's 18, I think for him it's been a challenging because he had a plan. He was like, I'm going to go to Europe. I'm going to try out for soccer teams. He's going to try and go pro. And now that adjusted because of the pandemic, and now that he's getting older, he feels as if he's running out of time. So we really try to encourage him, but we realize he's at a crossroads and he's at the stage where he has to decide where is it he wants to go. So definitely online learning is not for him. He has some challenges that way. So he's taken the year off. He was working. And he's still working because he's doing work with my husband now. But when he's not working, he actually likes to do barbering. I didn't know that he had this
Oh,
talent.
wow.
Yeah, you know, all those fancy styles that the sporting guys do.
Yeah.
So so he's been making some money, a lot of money doing that. So I think the money is like, oh, I'm making good money doing this. I'm like, well, you still got to go to college, buddy. So he's trying to figure out what courses to take. He doesn't want to just jump in and just take anything just because everybody's doing that.
Yeah.
So for him, I'm seeing more challenges with him in deciding, but it's because he's older and they're at that crossroads of what can I do? But you can't do much because of the pandemic. So we're just encouraging him and saying it's not too late. You've got your whole life ahead of you. And if you choose something you're not happy, you can switch. I think he feels as if whatever he whatever he selects, that's what he's got to be. And we're like, you're only 18, buddy. You've got your whole life ahead of you. You might have 3-4 careers by the time you're 60. Do you know what I mean? So for him, we're just trying to let him know that it's okay to make a mistake. You don't have to know what you want to do right now. You're still super, super young, right? And you've got the whole world ahead of you. But I don't know if it's working because I think he just has to work that out himself. And we suggested the military too. We said, go play for the military and he can play in the national soccer team for the military. So he is kind of, he can. Yeah, he's actually a really good player. Yeah. So, and I said, you'll get paid in the meantime. Yeah. So that's on his list as well. So we'll see what happens in September. But right now it's just really working and just trying to make sure he stays upbeat and feel encouraged and still be self-motivated. Because I think a lot of the kids just sitting home not doing anything, that's not good for them either.
No, it can't be. Well, I know even us and like for myself, how it's had a toll on even just social life and just trying to juggle everything and feeling like, okay, I need to make sure that I'm doing this and this and this. And whenever things sort of start going awry, it's okay, come back, decompress, figure out what needs to be done. And but how about for you? How's COVID impacted business and what have you been doing to stay motivated?
Yeah, you can see the market has taken off, right? So, I mean, I haven't suffered in terms of business. I had a very, pretty good, strong year and a great start as well. Yeah. But the only thing that I could really do, I mean, I'm not COVID like that. I mean, unfortunately, my personality is a little different. So I take it seriously, but I'm not curled up in a corner. That's just not my personality. I'm usually very upbeat and positive, but I know it's not going to be forever. Yeah. So that's the way I see it. I just see it's just a short-term problem. Yeah. And then in the long term, things are going to be back to normal. But yeah, just staying in touch with people, definitely. I work a lot by referrals anyways and repeats. That's where it seems to be my client base comes from. So definitely staying in touch, calling people and just watching podcasts or reading books. I enjoy reading and staying around positive people. Because I think if you jump into that rabbit hole of negativity and fear, you're going to stay stuck right there, in my opinion, right? Somebody else can disagree with that. So I always enjoy seeking out agents who are doing well or who are positive and motivated. And that certainly helps me to stay motivated as well. But in terms of business, I think the original shutdown, I think everything was shut down. I think everything pretty much kind of slowed down. I did enjoy being home. Was it 4 weeks or so? I don't remember how much time we were shut down. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed being home and doing nothing. I enjoyed my couch, finding shows on Netflix. We were cooking like everybody else and making bread like everybody else and just a family being together, not worrying and not being afraid of, oh, you look like you're being lazy. You're not being lazy. Everybody's home. So I felt that was such a good positive time for people to just stop and slow down, enjoy the day. You may see me walking down the road all the time. I don't know if you ever see me on my walk. You see me? Yes. Yeah, and it was just perfect. Yeah. I enjoyed that time. And then once we reopened, just, back to work as we did before. Definitely learned a lot about COVID in terms of masking up and gloves and providing sanitizers for people who are showing your home, things like that. I involved myself in all that, but I don't believe this is the end. I think things are going to get better, and it's just another situation in life that we have to cross over. I said to my son, "Hey son, this could have been World War II, and you could have been going off into war. You don't have to go to war. We just have to try and keep safe and follow the rules in place, and things are just gonna be fine." So I'm very positive about the future. I don't think it's going to be like this forever.
Yeah, no, I love your outlook with everything too. It's nice. It's refreshing to have that dose of
Yes,
positivity coming down. So,
one day at a time.
yeah, good time. So your podcast, it's worth a
Yes,
conversation. Tell me a little
yes.
bit about that. What made you decide to start doing that, and what's the idea and the content they have going on there?
Yeah, now I did take a little bit of sabbatical from November because my phone was giving me a lot of problems. But I got a new phone. This is why everything, I had a new iPad, new phone. Now I
That's
have this so I can restart again. My phone wasn't recording my podcast. So after November, there's nothing. I think I did maybe 6 or 7 episodes. But I mean, I enjoy a good conversation. If you ever, I think we're Facebook friends. I'm always asking questions and getting people's
Yeah.
opinions and that sort of. I don't know if you've
Yes.
ever noticed that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you have. Okay, great.
Okay.
So I enjoy interacting with people. I think I'm pretty good at staying calm, cool, and collected majority of the times when involved in a debate. And I really think it's important to hear the other side of what somebody thinks, right? And I don't understand why, because you have a different position and I have a different position, we have to hate each other. I don't get that. I don't see why we can't be friends. That I really believe that. And maybe there's a mental block somewhere, but I don't understand people who are like, well, I'm cutting them off Facebook and I'm never going to their house and we're not going to be friends because you don't believe what I believe. So I think it's just a great platform to talk about different issues of the day. I have some people lined up now for some interviews that'll be coming through. And I just like talking. I really do. I think I'm pretty open
I like that
person.
you
And
touch on some of the political stuff, and usually, and just exactly what you just said, where it's usually conversations that tend to be side A or side B, where people don't tend to be able to have an adult conversation, where it continuously ends up in an argument. I'm totally guilty of this sometimes too. I think probably is. But it's being able, and I think it might even be a tool for people where it's like, okay, we can sit down and have a conversation about this. It doesn't have to end up in an argument. It doesn't have to be a full-blown debate, but it's even your comment about looking at things from the other side is so important.
Yes.
We always forget that. So thank you.
It's so true. Oh, you're welcome. And social media now, I think it's really highlighted that how different people are and how much people don't get along. Like some of the stuff that I see is like, whoa. I mean, people jump on me too, right? I mean, it's going to happen, but I have a pretty thick skin. But I'm always shocked at the things that someone feels like they can say to you because it's social media. But I know when you see them face to face, they would never say that to you. No. Never.
Yeah.
Never.
It's sad. And I always worry about the kids growing up in this type of culture where it's the keyboard warriors. You can say whatever you want. You see all the bullying that's starting to happen. And it's, how can we sort of stop this or teach the kids?
Yes.
And if you're leading by example, like, I think that's a huge start to it. So
100%. And the kids are getting on social media younger and younger. So they're going to be exposed to that at an even earlier age. And it'll be interesting to see what their attitudes are like in 20 years, 30 years from now. Will they be more tolerant or will there be more division? And I feel as if there's a lot of division right now. And it's very concerning. But you're right. I think everything should be on the table. You asked me in the beginning, is anything off the table? I think everything should be on the table. Put it out there, a buffet of topics, right? And let's talk about whatever you want to talk about. No judgment from this side. I just want to hear your thoughts. That's it.
I love that. That's amazing. And I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm subscribing to it. So I look forward to the new episodes that you're going to be putting out as well. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I have a lot of things to talk about because it's been a few months that I haven't been on there. So I'm like, I've got so many topics.
That's awesome. So we'll put the link in the show notes for this one as well, so that people can follow that podcast.
Very nice.
Start thinking with an open mind about everything else.
Yeah.
So we always like to do a rapid fire segment. So I think I kind of stole one of these questions. We've got a few questions. Okay. What is your favorite home cooked meal to prepare?
Yeah. would probably be Jamaican meal. I would say jerk chicken with jerk pork, rice and peas, with a side of plantain, with some cornbread and some
Wait.
special Jamaican juice.
That's amazing. Whenever you are doing dinner, I'm just down at the end of the road.
Yes.
I'll have you over.
Mine for sure.
Yeah, I'll have you over in the
Yes.
summertime too, whenever it's a little bit nicer out. What?
Anytime. Your house is like a party house. I don't want to, but your house always have people. That's your house at the corner.
Yeah.
I thought, do you have a pool? I think I asked you this before. Do you have a pool?
Just a little
your home?
above ground pool in the backyard.
Yeah, but you seem like you're having some pool party there. You always have visitors. You must be a really good entertainer. You must be really good at that stuff.
The kids always have friends over, and it's always nice having
That's
people
nice.
around and opening the
Good
home.
for you.
Yeah, it's a nice place to hang out and have people and break bread and drink some wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love seeing that. Good for you, girl.
Yeah. When you are able to travel, what is the first place that you would love to travel to?
Oh my goodness. You're going to say everything's Jamaican. Unfortunately, when you're from another country, that's where you tend to end up a lot of the time. I would definitely like to visit Jamaica, but stay at a resort. I don't really stay at family anymore. Maybe one night sort of a thing. Because when you go to your family, it's not vacation. Jamaicans, like, they expect you to be at the crack of dawn. So if you go stay with an aunt or something and you're not up at 5 o'clock when the rooster crows, they're knocking on your door. Hello. Do you know what time it is?
That's
Like,
awesome.
I'm Canadian now. We sleep in. So definitely Jamaica. I love the beach and I just love nature. And I just love being in nature, going a nice little hike and that sort of thing. So, but anywhere hot would be fine. I mean, I enjoy Dominican, I enjoy Mexico, all those places too. So anywhere in the Caribbean would be fine for me. I do have plans one day. I would love to go to like Croatia, Czech Republic, those sorts of countries. I love geography. So, I love what they have to offer. So, but that probably would not be the first place to go. Probably want to stay away from Europe for a little bit because of the pandemic over there.
Yeah.
But the Caribbean, anywhere hot.
That's awesome.
We say hot. It's hot out there.
So Barbados is my one destination spot.
Beautiful.
I've been there 8 times now, and
Yes.
I'm just waiting. Oh yeah, that's why.
Oh my goodness.
Like, as soon as you start talking about any type of jerk or any curries or anything, like, sign me up, send them my way.
Flying fish and cuckoo.
Oh, delicious. It's so good.
Yes. It's so good.
Side note, have you been to, I guess you can make all the food probably better than what the restaurant has it, but there's the jerk restaurant, Irie Jerk, on Maple View.
Yes. Yes, I did. Once or twice. I think twice I've been there. It's pretty good. Not bad. Bad. I think the chicken needs to be a little bit more spicier, but I think that's for Canadian taste. But it's good.
Yeah.
And it's nice and clean. And I like how it's decorated in there. It's very nice. And they're friendly.
Yes, very. And as soon as you walk in, the music's playing, I start dancing. I'm ready.
Yeah.
To
You're ready to party.
Hilarious. Okay. What is your go-to sing-along song?
Oh, it depends on where I am and what I'm doing. If I'm at church randomly and they'll say, oh, we'd like Alexia to bless us with a song, I probably would sing, Blessed Assurance, Jesus is mine. Something like that. Blessed Assurance.
Love it.
If I'm in the Caribbean doing karaoke, I'd probably fall back with Whitney Houston, Bette Midler. I like that kind of Alita Adams. You can reach me by railway. You can reach me by trailway. You can reach me on an aeroplane. You can reach me with your mind. You can reach me by caravan. Cross the desert like an Arab man. I don't care how you get there, just get there if you can. Anyways, but I would need music.
I love it.
So it depends. And of course, Yeah, that's it. But yeah, I have my little karaoke song. Actually, I do not care for karaoke because you can't control the key. That's the trick. Who actually sing
Yeah.
don't like karaoke because the key is often not right. Right. But people who do love to do karaoke, they don't care how they sound. When you have like an image, you need to know what key the song is, right? So I prefer live band or, you know, a musician, and then we can adjust the key. And then that's how people actually sound good. But when you just choose some random karaoke song and the key's not for your voice level,
Yeah.
it sounds funny.
Oh, I'm going to use that from now on as the reason why I sound horrible at karaoke.
Yeah. Some karaoke machines, they have an adjustment, and you can ask the guy, can you lower the key or increase it? You can ask them to adjust it. But a lot of people don't know that. But those are my songs. I love gospel music.
I love it. You have an absolutely beautiful voice. Thank you very much.
It's just okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's all in fun. It's all in fun. I don't take myself serious at all.
I think that's a huge part of it. So many people are so afraid to even just try that. Yeah. Okay. Last question that I have for you is, what does being more than a realtor mean to you?
Being more than a realtor. I love, there's a saying about realtors being matchmakers, kind of like a relation. If you find the house they want, then, you know, you make an offer that's similar to an engagement, and then they live happily ever after. I think realtors really do make dreams come true. I come from the perspective that everyone should have the right to own a home, but not everybody knows how to own a home and the steps that it takes. And I really do think we're dream givers and dream achievers. And I think that's more than being a realtor. Actually caring about the people you work with, engaging their trust and seeing their faces, especially first-time home buyers. You know what that's like. And even sometimes with last-time home buyers, when you have to move them from their very final home to the next stage, it can be a tough stage, but they're so appreciative of you. And I think the feeling that I get when people are so grateful, they're so appreciative, you get them the price that they want, you find them the exact house that they want, they're just blown away. And that makes the whole entire process so worth it. And going through the ups and downs of the business, definitely worth it. I think we're definitely in the relationship business. We're in the family business, and we're dream givers and dream builders, 100%. So making it, I mean, is there anything more worth it when you meet somebody and they don't think that, oh, I'm thinking of buying a house, but I don't think that I could, and you can find that, and they're like, wow. And when somebody says, I am the first person in my family ever, I don't know if you've come across people like that, the first person in my family ever to own a home. Oh, that just brings tears to your eyes. Like, you can't believe it, right? So I think we're in the dream building business, 100%.
That's awesome. I agree with you 100% on what you said with that. So that's great. Thank you so much for coming on and chatting and sharing a bit more about you and everything that you bring to the table. I'm so happy that you're one of the members here at Beard Gallery and that you're one of our local realtors too. It's so nice and refreshing to have your input and everything that you have to offer. So thank you very much for sharing everything with us today.
Thank you. And what an honor to be asked. I was quite surprised. I'm like, wow, they want to talk to me? I call my friend Linda, oh, Bina wants to ask me questions on their podcast. She's like, why you? I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. She didn't say that. But I was very honored. So thank you for choosing me. I love it. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for listening. To hear our other episodes, be sure to subscribe, and we would love it if you could leave us a review.